5 seconds. There you go. Roll your HD. Camera 1.
Local.
Final camera 1.
Now, this is the news at 11.
Mike 'em. Who's here?
And good evening. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Our First Alert meteorologists have been
PS3.
tracking severe weather all day
VLP1.
long today.
And tonight we're continuing our team coverage with John Wetherbee, Jamie Ertle, and WTOC reporters
Yes, sir.
Tesia Reed and Stephen Gallo are live at Fort Stewart right now. We'll be
Stand
getting to
by
them in
boxes
just a few minutes
with
as they're
Jamie and
surveying the
camera 1.
damage and talking to homeowners.
But first, Jamie
Box
Ertle
up.
is
Stand
joining
by,
us
Jamie.
now with the latest on the storm, Jamie.
Right now, Russ and Dawn, I
Cool.
wanted to show you the first alert advisories and warnings. We have nothing across the coastal empire and low country,
She did say Russ
and we
and
have no watches or
do
warnings,
you
so
want that
that
behind
is
them the whole
great
time, or just
news.
still?
So let's put this into motion. We've been using our panel all
Like
day
just the
long,
normal still,
tracking the
not everything
storms
else.
for you,
Freeze frame it
and I
up.
wanted to show
Yeah.
you where the shower activity is at this moment.
Try to
A little
frame it up behind
earlier,
them.
I had a Twitter conversation with
that?
Proud Army
Yeah,
Wife
it's gonna-
98,
but
and
we
I
just
said
need-
right
we
around
need
11:30 there was
camera
going to be a heavy
like
cell
off-center, you
moving
know
through
what I'm
Liberty
saying?
County.
I know.
And right, it's
Yeah.
We need to
scary
center
when
to
you
the
have
video.
Camera
something
1,
like
can
that
you
happen
truck
early
left
on in
a
the
little
day.
bit?
It goes dark and then it starts raining again, and you're thinking, what is
There you go.
next?
Right there is
No
good.
severe weather at this time, so that's good news. Just
We'll come out
heavy
to John
rainfall. So
on
let's
camera
track
2 out of
this for
this.
you as it moves toward Hinesville, and that's what we're focusing on because that's where the severe weather, the
Welcome.
tornado threat was earlier on in the day. So a little cell right now just on the border of Long and Liberty, but the heavier stuff still back to the west. So let's take this through Glenville, Hinesville as it moves toward 95, and the next couple of minutes, 11:16 Glenville, that's when we can see some heavy downpours for you. Hinesville around 11:48, Fort Stewart even a
This
little bit
Tesia
after
intro is
that,
a 2-1 box,
Midway,
correct?
midnight,
With
and
both
Richmond
anchors?
Hill
Yeah.
12:18. So this
Just
will
making sure. It
continue
just says a
to
Dawn
fall,
read. I'll just
and
make
there's
sure.
more back to the
Okay.
west. There's a heavy cell now moving to Vidalia, and that
Yep,
will
that's the one
continue
that-
to track
gotcha.
toward Claxton, Baxley, Glenville,
Come out to John
Cobbtown.
on camera
Let's
2 out
do
of
that
this.
again. Let's take this cone here again and take this across I-16, and that box will pop up. So A-Line, Metter, Portal, Statesboro, that's when that will impact you. And I wanted to show you the echo tops. We're talking about big storms developing, and anything in the yellow stage, 30,000 to 45,000. We saw some of those earlier. Nothing impressive along this line back to the west. Maybe that little cell in Vidalia, but still, we are under no watches or warnings.
Come out to
Chief
John out of
Meteorologist
this.
John Wetherbee
Mike,
is here
John?
to track the rest of it through the evening, and what can we expect for tomorrow.
And
What's up?
give you a little comparison. Echo tops for isolated summer thunderstorms, sometimes 65 to 70,000
Well, VLP2
feet high.
out of this.
These are not very tall at all. And this all continues to stretch all the way back into the Gulf of Mexico. This moisture source is continuing to train across the Florida Peninsula and into southeast Georgia. In fact, as we get a little closer to our area, again, some of those heavier cells that Jamie was talking about just a moment ago, where they're tracking, they're continuing to push rain in our direction. We've got a night of rain coming up. Let me show you the planner, and I'll
VLP2?
show you exactly
Oh,
what I
not
mean.
quite yet.
First, rainfall
That was
chances,
awesome.
60, 70, 100% chances
Are you with
as we
Tesia?
go through the overnight hours. From our 68 only to 64 to 60, and temperatures will fall as we go through the day, through the 50s.
Come out to
I
the
don't
VLP2
expect
out of this
anything
with the
severe
anchors
from
reading.
this point. I don't think we've got that to worry about, except we're going to see some locally heavy rainfall. Dawn, that's a big
by
part of our
VLP2.
first alert forecast.
Don, and David.
that's straight ahead.
Yes,
Well, a
up.
lot of our reports tonight are coming in from Fort Stewart. We're taking
We'll come out to
a live look now
boxes
at
with
the map,
Tesia and Live
where,
U1 and anchors
Stephen
on camera
Gallo
1.
and Tesia
Or Live
Reed
U2, I'm
are
sorry.
in one of the hardest hit areas there, right at Green
Stand by
Street and
boxes.
Johnston
Stand by.
Place.
Boxes
We're going
up.
to start our coverage
Stand by,
with
Tesia and Live
Tesia.
U2.
She was at the news conference that was held shortly before 9 o'clock there. What's the very latest, Tesia?
Roy Stinger. Mike Tesia. Tesia is full.
Well,
Follow
first let's just
VLP3.
start with the fact that there have been no
Change your
injuries
boxes.
reported from this storm. Now, I am told there were about 40 to 50 people who were displaced. Now, they are being put up
Okay,
in a
thank you.
hotel alongside their
VLP3.
pets just to make sure they have some shelter for the night. Now,
Yes, up.
authorities here believe that
Soundbite
a
P1.
tornado came through around 4:45 this evening. And they say it traveled about 2 to 3 miles from west to east. Now, we're looking at some video sent in to us earlier from Zach Labar. Now, take a listen as the garrison commander
soundbite,
talks
P1.
to us about how the storm tracked through the area.
Track 1.
It went through motor
Might
pool
be a double
area,
sides.
across the
Looks like
golf
it's double sides,
course,
and we'll come back to Tesia
through the
and Live
housing
U2.
area,
Just,
clipped a
there's
little edge
video
of the
that comes up
school,
to Tesia CG
and then as
before
it
the
exited
video.
post,
Okay.
went
Single
through
shots.
another small area of a housing area, and then across Sunbury Road, and took out some power lines and trees and fences, and did some damage to cars and homes as it went through the area.
Mike Tesia.
Now, I did want to actually point out
full.
that they have activated an emergency
Come out the boxes
family
with Live View 1 and Live View 2 out of
center
this.
that is at the Army Community Service Building 87. Now, right now,
Standby boxes
authorities are
with
just
Live View
trying
1
to make
and
sure
Live
that
View
the
2.
roadways are cleared, especially for emergency vehicles, just in case anything else happens. Now, like I said, there are no injuries reported, but there is some severe damage to some homes and some cars and some buildings. I'm going to toss it now over to Stephen,
Box it
who
up.
was
Stand by
next
Stephen
to
and Live
some
View
of
1.
that damage. Stephen?
Do you have a stinger?
No.
Okay, it's full.
Yeah, Tesia, thanks. You can see
Oh,
some of that
VLP2 out of
damage
this?
just behind me here. If you take a look, here's one of these trees that have been
clear your
uprooted
boxes?
here. You can just get a feel for how big it is as I'm standing next to it. In addition to that, roofs have been damaged. And we've even seen several power lines across the posts that are down that have been damaged. Right now, a
Goes up.
good portion of the base is still without power,
sound button
mostly
P3.
because of those down power lines. They're working on restoring it now, but
Camera
the hardest hit
2,
areas
good.
may take
Single
until
shot. David.
morning to get the power back. The National Weather Service will be here in the morning
Camera-
to assess damage and to confirm just how strong
sound bite
this
P3.
tornado
Camera
was.
3, can you go get a
They'll
bump
be the
of the
ones to
anchors
make
of
it
the weather
official,
people
but
working at
we
the
do
weather
know
pod?
this left a good
Sound bite
deal
P3.
of damage in its path.
Track 3.
It was enough to
Just
split
for
us in two.
tease.
Like I said, the houses
Come back to
behind
full screen
me,
tag. Camera
which
3 will
are
just be
permanent
a
structures, and
bump
the
of the
roof's
general
torn
area of
off,
them two
so
working at
significant
computers.
enough damage. And,
No pizza.
if you're back here at first light, you'll see we've got a couple vehicles that are completely flipped over. So enough power to pick a car up and put it on its top.
Mike, Steven, full screen's up.
Well, tomorrow,
back to
Diamond
Stephen live and
Elementary,
Live
we
View 1
have
out of this.
learned, which is right across the street from where we are here, that school will be closed. However, the 3 other schools that are here on the post will be open. Again, only Diamond Elementary closed
truck back a
tomorrow.
little
And as
bit if you
far
can.
as soldiers coming to
Stand by
work
live.
here in the morning, it will still be business
is up.
as usual for them. It's going to be up to their unit
Come back to David on
commanders to
camera 2 out of
decide
this.
if there will be any delays or changes in their schedule
works for camera
their
3.
unit. By the way, the garrison commander anticipates total
Camera 2,
cleanup
center
out
up a little
here,
bit. I think
likely to
David's
take
moved
at
on you, I'm
least
sorry.
2 to 3 days
There you go.
until they're back to where they used to
Stand
be.
by, David, on camera 2.
Live on Fort Stewart, Stephen Gallo, WTOC
David.
News.
So
Thumbs up.
clearly a lot still going
About
on.
to full screen out of
post
this.
there.
Alright,
We
you're
want to
clear,
give you a
thank
quick
you.
rundown now again of what we do know.
Full screen's
No
up.
injuries have been reported at
We'll
Fort
change to full
Stewart.
screen on
Just
air.
damage to homes, cars, and other buildings, as well as, of course, down power lines and trees. Crews are continuing to restore that power to parts of the post, and unit commanders will decide on delays for tomorrow.
Change your full screen.
There is also
Come
a
on to an iPad out of
hotline to
this.
assist soldiers, families, and civilians with the latest information off the post. And that number is right there on your screen.
Stand by,
It's
iPad.
866-586-3116.
iPad's up.
Well, we want to take a live look now at all of the
We'll come out
photographs
to camera
you've been
3
sending
out of
us
this
into the
for a
newsroom
tease with
and
the
on our
anchor still
social media
reading.
pages. Again, we want to remind you, please be careful out there, be safe when you're taking photos. You can find all of the severe weather coverage on WTOC.com.
Mike, come tease music.
And
Stay right there because John Wetherbee and Jamie Ertle will be joining us again in just a few minutes with your forecast.
And coming up, a vigil held tonight in Macon to remember a former Benedictine standout and Mercer University basketball player. Our Elizabeth Rawlins caught up with Jabri Bryant's former coach today and brings us the story next.
Go, Mike. Ready to break. Good block, everyone. Where's Stinger? That's B1. Track 1.
Next few days, weeks, will be strong for everyone.
Go ahead.
Micah.
Tonight, friends and loved ones
Oh,
are
sound bite
remembering
P2.
23-year-old Jabri Bryant, the Savannah native and former Benedictine standout athlete, was killed in
worse than
Macon
that, not
yesterday
much.
afternoon. Police tell us he was sitting in his car parked at a gas station when he was fatally shot. Another man sitting in the passenger seat was also injured.
Well, there's
The
no
shooter
sign.
is
There's
still
no
at
sign.
large,
They're
and
on
his
the two
accomplice
shot
has
of
been
it.
arrested
This is just a
Come on,
and
camera 1.
charged
Stand by camera
with
1.
murder.
Stand by camera 1. Stand by 1. They're up.
Bryant's death is
Well,
sending
package
shock
of P2.
waves, of course, through the
This.
local sports community
Right.
and making national headlines.
Well,
as well.
package of
Certainly
P2.
is. Today, our Elizabeth Rawlins spoke to many people who knew him well, including his former coach, who describes him as a smart guy and a great basketball player.
Track 2.
In my heart,
Thank you for
we've
catching
been
that, Alicia.
Doug Willett coached Jabri Bryant when he was a student at Benedictine
Camera 1, get a
Military
single shot of
Academy.
Dawn.
He worked hard in the classroom. He worked hard in the weight room.
okay.
He worked hard
I didn't know what the notes
on his
were
game.
because
And everyone in
came
the
in
Savannah
so
area
late,
was
Barry
well
said they
aware
weren't
of
that great,
Jabri's
really super
accomplishments. In fact, WTOC followed him through his high school career and even after when he moved to Macon to play for the Mercer Bears. He came back in 2014 to share his story and be an inspiration to other students with this message.
Pretty much just to stay focused. I mean, no matter what, just stay focused and continue
continue to know that hard work pays off.
The future seemed bright for the 23-year-old basketball player who is already working on his master's at Mercer.
30 seconds left in this package. We'll come back to Don on camera 1.
He was gunned down in front of a Flash Foods in Macon.
I'm at a loss of words. How could something like that happen to a nice individual? You know, what's the world coming to?
Some neighbors had no idea about the murder until we broke the news. Jabri's mother still lives in Savannah, next door to the Rudolph family who watched him grow up. And as the word gets out,
15 seconds, coming out to camera 1.
already offering their condolences to the Bryan family, including a sticky
10
note that
seconds.
was left on their front door.
That shouldn't happen to any family. And I feel very
5 seconds, coming out to
upset
Don on
for a
camera
very
1.
nice family.
Stand by. Mike Don, she's
Well,
up.
Bryan was nominated for the 2016
Come on to David on camera 2 out of
Good
this.
Works team. He earned a bachelor's degree in accounting
We'll fix
and
Jamie
was
shot
in
on camera 3
graduate
if we
school
could.
working toward getting his MBA. Benedictine held a moment of silence today in his honor.
Stand by camera 2. She's
Blue
up.
at 11, a stolen
Sting to
TV
VMP3.
leads police on a chase that actually ends when
Jamie
the
shot is
suspect
good.
slams into a
Thank you.
historic
Roy Stinger.
square. Metro Police tried to
VMP3
stop
is
the
up.
driver on President Street after a report that he had stolen the television from the
Sting to
Walmart on
VMP1 out of
Whitmarsh
this.
Island. The driver took off, eventually
Once we get
crashing
to the
into
VMP1,
Green
camera
Square,
2 will get the
President
2-shot.
and Houston Streets. The suspect then ran away from the scene but left his car behind. In turn, Metro Police do expect to have an arrest warrant for the car's owner tomorrow. That crash, by the way, it took out a section of brick wall, a planter, and a
Roy Stinger.
lamppost.
VMP1
Right
is
now,
up.
county leaders in Montgomery County are struggling
Camera 2, get
about
a
what to
2-shot.
do with county employees under indictment. Commissioners met in executive
come up,
session
camera 2
for
out
an
of
hour
this.
this afternoon and elected to take no action against the county manager, Brandon Brady. Now, he's one of 6 people accused of entering Sheriff Ladson O'Connor's
Camera 2, keep
office
trucking left.
and removing a safe and several files.
going.
The sheriff's deputy and
Keep trucking.
secretary face similar burglary charges. A judge signed the arrest warrants today
Keep
after
going.
a grand jury indicted them Monday.
Stand by camera 2. Hold that. Mike, they're up.
Well, don't forget, you can keep up with today's news that did not make a newscast because we were a little bit concerned about this weather today. We're very concerned. Just go to our WTOC
boxes on camera
website
2 and Jamie.
you can find all the information there. Right now, though, we do want to check back in
Box
with
they're
our
up.
weather team.
Stand by Jamie.
And right now, I wanted to show you some of the storm reports, and while they don't look impressive as far as the dots that you see on your screen, one can make a giant impression, and that's the one in Hinesville, the confirmed tornado touching down in the Fort Stewart
Camera 2,
complex.
go ahead and get
These two, look at the difference
John at the
here.
wall.
This is a tornado. This is a funnel cloud
Or John at
report
the,
in Bloomingdale.
weather
We
pod,
were
I'm
first
sorry.
to alert you that on air at 5, and this one at 6 on 17 and Highway 80. That was a funnel cloud that came oh so close to touching the surface, turning into a tornado, and that is a wind gust about 40 miles per hour in Beaufort recorded there. Now I wanted to show you we're tracking those storms that will continue to move across I-16,
John
and
is on
this
A.
is the heavier one. So Statesboro, you're going to see some heavy rain.
We'll come
and
out
we're
to
also
John out of this.
tracking more rain back to the west. And right now, we'll put a cone in place for you. We'll track that for you right now on our satellite and radar. And we are concerned,
Camera 1, get a
especially
3-shot just
everyone
in
in the
case
Fort
John
Stewart
decides to walk
complex,
over.
just because of that severe weather
Okay.
that rolled through. Will we
John
see any more
should
tonight?
walk over.
So right here, some of the heaviest stuff moving out of Baxley. I want
We
to
got
track
2
that
minutes
for you and make sure
for
Hinesville
weather
is
right
in
now.
this cone because you will see some of that rain. Zion Glenville right around midnight. 122 Claxton will be impacted by this. Rain now in Hinesville, but some heavy stuff still coming around 12:35, and Midway right around 1 o'clock.
Welcome.
Will it continue after that? Chief Meteorologist
Stand by,
John
John.
Wetherbee has your tracking
Mike,
key
John.
there.
Boy, it's really
What's up?
scary when storms come through and you've lost
Can you talk
power
to
for the day. I know
No,
how
not at
that
all.
works, and everybody's going to be okay. But there's still lots of rain here in our first alert
Okay.
hour by hour as we go the next several hours. From our current time, watch how this doesn't move very much. The front itself starts to lose some of its energy, but we still have lots of
sure what you're
rain.
talking about.
3:30 in the morning, and by the time we get to tomorrow
Okay.
morning, here comes another wave off the Gulf back to the
Yes,
west
that's fine.
that will continue to fill in as we go through the day. By
John
the time
should
we get
walk
to noon, look
back
at some of the
to the
heavier
desk out
rain
of this.
just passing Chatham County, working offshore. So here's the hour-by-hour planner from 8 o'clock all the way till 4, 5, 57, 53,
You think you'd like me to take
52,
weather graphics
down to
fall
50
between them, or you
degrees.
think you can just
Temperature
walk off
will
camera?
fall as we
Nothing
go
else.
through the day. And the heavier amounts of rain
Nah, it's
should
not
be
gonna happen.
earlier in the day with lesser amounts perhaps later in the day. But it's going to be dreary for most of the day. So our first alert level will be a 6 for tomorrow with periods of rain, possible flooding. Heaviest rain should be right along coastal areas. But after we're done with the rain, from tomorrow 6, we go to a 1 on Friday and a 3 on Saturday.
Make it. Appreciate
No worries at all. And here's how that
30
rain will
left for
continue
John.
to push
Come back to
offshore.
camera 1, then we'll
Looks
have
like it's
season
going
2
to
and
clear
3.
out of here Friday morning. We got nothing but sunshine. Looking forward to that.
So?
So, for the next 3 days,
Come on,
we'll
Kimberly,
check
out
how
of this.
this works out indeed. With our forecast, 54 tonight, rain continuing, 59 tomorrow, and periods of
You can
rain,
motion to John that
breezy
he
then
can
on
walk back to the
Friday, and
desk.
all sunshine, but it gets cooler. Look at that. A cooler start indeed for Saturday, 54 degrees with a 20% chance of showers. And then for the rest of the 7-day
camera one.
forecast, temperatures will be a
Tilt up a
little
little bit,
below
camera one.
normal. Yes, it will be
you
cool,
go.
but nothing
Hold that.
very exciting.
Like all the anchors?
Exactly.
You could use a boring
Oh,
day.
two
after
cents, two
A
out there.
couple of boring days would be just fine. Hope you're all right. Stay up to date with us always on WTOC.com and on your smartphone as well.
Thanks, John.
My pleasure.
Please,
Well,
music.
coming up, an art expo showing off the works of some local students. We'll show you their masterpieces and how you can see them for yourself.
Also, reports of the death of a longtime tradition at Georgia Southern University have been greatly exaggerated. We'll explain after this.
Come on, fade to break.
C2 is
So
dead.
2:30 break. C2 is dead. 5 seconds. Stand by. Where's Stinger? Like him.
This really is some beautiful artwork, folks. Check it out. Students from several Savannah Chatham
I'll
public
have to
schools
VLP2 out of
have
this.
their work on display in the 15th annual New Beginning Youth Art Exhibition. The exhibit will be on display until February 26 at the Cultural Arts Gallery on West Henry Street. This year's theme, Reflections of a Proud
to VLP2?
Legacy, and they are beautiful reflections of what these kids are capable of.
Goes up.
But tonight we're learning a Georgia Southern
Little soundbite
University
in
tradition
MP3.
will live on for more than 30 years. Hundreds of children
Once we get in the
enjoy
soundbite, camera one, get the
Spring
single
Arts
shot of
Fest. Well,
Cristina.
Southern said last month they couldn't continue the event by themselves because of the size and the cost. Well, the Statesboro Bullock County Parks and Recreation Department announced they'll take over the event in partnership
Little
with the
soundbite in
university.
MP3.
Leaders say Arts Fest just meant too much to too many people to let it end.
Track 3.
Well, I think anybody
Cool.
that's lived in Bullock
VO
County
tag, then we'll
and
come out to camera
surrounding
2 with a
areas
3-shot.
over the last 20, 30 years has probably
Camera
at
1
some
is good. Camera
time,
2, if you could just pan right a little bit.
involved themselves in Arts Fest.
Like him.
So don't forget, look for Arts Fest April
Stand by,
23rd
camera two.
in its usual location
Yep.
at the University's Sweetheart Circle.
It is
Turn
truly
Cristina, camera one out of
holiday
this.
in the sports
The
department.
three of us will run around all over
I know
creation
you
today,
were.
which means that
Tease
fax
music.
machines all over the U.S. are going crazy for National Signing Day, the whirlwind tour of our local talent that puts pen to paper to take their game to the next level. That's next to sports.
Come on, fade to break. Camera 3 can turn around and go get sports. To the sports desk. Camera 1 get a 2-shot of the 2 anchors. Stand by, Cristina. Are you open?
The WTOC Sports Desk is sponsored by Seasons of
Hi, Cristina.
Japan.
Happy signing day. As a college fan, you really
package
don't
P1.
know how each player will turn out. As a player, you do know it's your chance at the next level to continue playing football past high school. We turn to our
package
Rick
P1.
Snow for one of the most highly recruited players in our area.
Track 1.
Marquine Bird led the Warriors to a 7-4 record this past season, rushing for 1,220 yards and 16 touchdowns.
Well,
He's
it's a
also a true
VLP2 out of
student
this.
athlete, which pleased the coaches at Wake Forest, where Bird will be playing next season, and tells us why he chose the Demon Deacons.
I just went with my heart, and I went Wake Forest with my heart. You know, there's a lot of schools were after me, but I just feel like Wake Forest had the best interest in me. I'm just relieved and happy that it's all over with, and I'm ready to go to college and complete my dream.
Bird was recruited by a lot of schools and had 23 total offers, but wound up choosing the ACC school.
What's
A
a
lot of schools,
VLP2?
bigger schools were looking at me and whatnot, but I just feel like Wake Forest was a perfect fit for me. You know, a smaller school and comfortable, and I was comfortable with the coaches and everybody there. I felt like it was the best choice for me.
Bird's recruiting started slowly this season, but that just inspired him to do more.
15
It
seconds,
was hard,
what's a
you know,
VLP2?
being a player I am, and
Cristina
I
reading.
wasn't getting the offers just yet, so I just had to work harder and just keep grinding, and it all paid off.
Bird plans to major in physical therapy. Rick Snow, WTOC Sports.
Mike, Cristina.
And it continues at Calvary Day.
Let's sound by
Alex
MP3.
Herndon makes a huge commitment to play for Jeff Monken as the Cavalier accepts an appointment to the United
Sound of P3.
States Military Academy.
Track 3.
I just really felt like
Oh,
it was
VO
a
tag, then what's
great
a VLP1?
institution. I felt it was a great place that I could be challenged academically and physically, and I really feel like that I could be a better person by going there.
Mike, Cristina.
Herndon will
Right to
play
VLP1.
on the offensive line for the Black Knights. At
Goes
Liberty
up.
County for Panthers Inc., this is Calvin Holmes and Jakari Roberts
sound
who are
by
headed
MP2.
to Fort Valley State to play defense, while Jaquez Williams is headed to Wake Forest. He's going to join Bird as an outside linebacker, and Marshall Washington
Sound
up
MP2.
the road to Georgia Southern as an outside linebacker.
Track 2.
We all push each other, you know, along with Richard, you know,
LP3.
everybody. We just worked hard, you know, here at Liberty County. We got that mentality, you know. You just got to have that dog in you, you know. All of us growing up together, playing from rec to here where we are now, like we all say, it's just a blessing, a dream come true.
Hi, Cristina. Hi, Cristina.
And the Panthers went just 8-4 this season, losing in the second round of the playoffs. At Benedictine, true self Cooper keeping us on our toes. He's waiting, but Sanders Creech knows where he wants to go. The cadet is packing for Charleston as he puts the pen to paper for the Citadel. Creech is a first-team All-State offensive lineman. It's a huge day in Statesboro. 5 on the Blue Devils sign. Ryan Miller off to Utah State for football as a kicker. Alex Wagner to Emory for soccer. Braxton Johns, a right-handed pitcher, to East Georgia College. And Jalen Davis to Rochester for football, while Samad Foster says yes to Reinhardt. At Bluffton today, 4 Bobcats sign in football. Logan Venequet is headed to Baldwin Wallace for football, while Lorenz Taylor is off to Johnson C. Smith. Dylan Wilson going to Carson Newman, while Lauren Bell headed to South Carolina Beaufort for track and soccer. Army also going into the low country here and gets John Beatty of Hilton Head, the Seahawks defensive back. Hilton Head's Justin Morrow is headed to Marshall as a cornerback and wide receiver combo, while quarterback Aiden Haggerty taking the preferred walk-on route, going to Boston College. Just up the road at Southeast Bullock, L.A. Anderson signing for soccer there. The Yellow Jacket is bound for Bristol, Tennessee to join King University. And at Savannah Christian, Aaron Osborne signs a national letter of intent in soccer. The Raider is headed to the University of Memphis. We said a very whirlwind tour there. Don't forget, you can head over to WTOC.com, clicking on the sports page. We'll have all of your content there, including a full college wrap of each of our area schools. That's Look at Sports. We'll be back.
So much. Fade to break. 5 seconds left in break. Sticking out to the full screen. Stand by. Where's Singer? Like the anchors.
Now, again, we want to remind you, because of today's severe weather, Diamond Elementary School at Fort Stewart will be closed tomorrow. As of now, the other 3 schools on the post will remain open, and all other schools are open in our viewing area. We've got a lot of phone calls.
Yeah, and again, no injuries have been reported at Fort Stewart.
Crews are
continuing to restore power.
We'll change this full screen on there.
In parts of that installation, the unit commanders will also decide on the latest for tomorrow.
Change your full screen.
Important number for you once again. This is the hotline to assist soldiers, families, and civilians.
We'll come out to those graphics out of this.
TVM 866-586. 3116.
Well, John, we're looking forward to a calm day after.
But those people making those power repairs in Hinesville, they're in the rain again.
Yeah, they are.
Look at the stream of showers all the way back to the Gulf of Mexico. The front itself has really slowed down
30 seconds left in the show.
and will
Come out,
stall
camera 1.
right offshore, and we'll see these showers as we go through the night. Don't expect anything severe, but also don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder, especially westbound on 16. Some of our inland counties will see some of the heaviest rain during the overnight hours.
15,
that 59 is the 7 a.m. temperature. Cools through the day. Expect light to moderate, even some heavy rainfall.
9, 8, 7,
Of
6,
course, your safety has
5,
been a primary concern
4,
all day today
3,
through these storms,
2,
and will always be.
1.
We appreciate you joining
So
us.
much. We're out. Perfect, everyone. Great job.